Hey, Coach Kevin here. Today's video is going to cover some exercises that are going to give you a good upper body workout and make it easy to do at the same time. So I've had a lot of people ask me about the Elite Athlete Power Band kits and if they can use them just to work out to stay in shape. Absolutely, right? I had these designed specifically for athletes, but the thing is the type of training that athletes do is much more advanced. And so if you can do those really advanced exercises with them, no problem doing kind of the basics, right? Just working out the major muscle groups, just making sure you have that overall strength and fitness. So it applies very well to functional fitness at the same time. It is also good for athletes just to develop overall general strength too. So sometimes in the off season, they like to just kind of work out and just get more fit overall, or cross train, that kind of stuff too. So I've got a few videos that are just going to cover general fitness, and today we're working on those upper body muscle groups. So biceps, triceps, chest, shoulders, your upper back, your traps, that kind of stuff. But make sure that you also balance it out with legs, your core, the stabilizer muscles, so that way you're not just working out the beach muscles to try to look good, but you're working out the muscles that are going to keep you fit and healthy, reducing those risks of injuries, so that way you can just keep making forward progress without getting those big setbacks. So let's go ahead and get on to those upper body exercises. For the first exercises, I've got my door anchor set up at about shoulder height with one red power band that goes halfway through that anchor and then a handle attached to each end of it. So there's a reason for having it set up different ways. And so the reason why I choose to set up this way for this exercise is it makes the bands a little bit shorter so that resistance increases really quickly when you first start stretching it. Some other exercises I prefer to have two separate bands and make it longer. And the benefit for that would be having a more consistent resistance as it stretches versus one that increases very fast. Now, it also saves space. If you're in kind of an area without a lot of space, you can always set up your bands this way to kind of improvise and allow you to use a smaller space to work out. So with this, I'm going to do 3 exercises. I'm going to do a front press, kind of like a push-up. I'm going to do some rows, and that's going to balance out the muscle groups, so that way I'm working both the front and the back to make sure there's a good balance to my body, helps with good posture, all of that. As well, I'm going to do some curls because this setup makes it easy to do curls at the same time. So starting with front press, all right, you're going to stand kind of like as if you're about ready to do a push-up. You don't want your elbows up high like this, but your elbows drop down just a little bit. And then you push forward right to the height of mid-chest. All right, and so this is a great workout to help progress into doing push-ups. Or if you're just kind of burnt out and you want to reduce that resistance a little bit with still working your chest and your triceps. And then after that, you can go right into rows. Right, so that's keeping that good muscular balance. And so you want to make sure you're standing with good posture, keeping those shoulder blades back, standing upright, and then pulling those elbows back behind you. And then nice and easy after that, you just turn your wrist this way and then go into curls. Now that's a little bit more resistance for curls than what I like, so I'm going to take a small step forward, make that micro adjustment, and then I can do my curls with a little bit less resistance. Or if I want to ramp it up, I just step back and do some curls like that. So that's an easy superset where you don't have to keep adjusting equipment, setting things up, taking things down. You can just exercise, 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 get right through it. Now, if you do have a pretty strong chest, you're pretty good at push-ups, there's a way you can set it up to do an assisted push-up to just get more reps in and help promote that good technique. So I'm going to show you that next. I went ahead and set this up so I can do my assisted push-ups, but I left the other setup here, just so you can see that it's easy to set up multiple stations. I even know some families that own 2 or 3 kits, and when they set their stuff up to work out, they'll use stuff from each of the kits, and they can just jump from all these different exercises. They don't have to set up and take down each time they work out. So with the assisted push-up, you use the same technique as you would for a normal push-up. So a couple key things I want you to think about is your plank position, right? You don't want your hips sticking up in the air like this, and you don't want to let your hips sink down. So you want that perfectly straight plank position, and you don't want your hands up here like this, right? We're not trying to work out our shoulders. We're trying to work out our chest and our triceps. So if you lower your hands, that way your elbows angle slightly down from your shoulders. That's going to give you a good balance of working out your triceps and your chest. And now some of you might not be able to do good push-ups like that over and over and over and over again. And that's where the assisted push-ups come into play. You don't make a lot of progress if you're only able to do a few good push-ups before you fatigue and then that technique falls apart. You want to be able to do 20 to 30 good push-ups with that good technique, just reinforcing that muscle memory, developing everything you need to be able to maintain that good technique. So doing the assisted push-up helps tremendously with that. So you just go inside of it like this, and you can either put it directly under your armpits or over your rib cage. And now it's lifting me up a little bit, reducing how much weight I have to push up with. And I've had some swimmers that I've trained where, they started out doing these assisted push-ups. Maybe they could do 15 to 20 of them. And in a matter of 2 months with consistent training, they're doing about 20 push-ups without any assistance. So if you're consistent and you work with this, you will make a lot of good progress. Now for the other exercises, we're going to adjust our equipment. Notice that I have the same bands and handles as I used for the curls, the rows, and the front press. All I had to do is move it up to the top, and it's going to give me a pretty good resistance level for the next exercises that I'm going to do. So I'm going to start out with lat pull downs, and there's a couple key things you want to notice. So the shoulders need to stay back and down. So if you just lift your shoulders up, pull them back, and then slide those shoulder blades down your back, that's the position your shoulders should stay in the entire time. You want to maintain that good posture with it. And then also think about the body angle, which I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm going to go down to my knees. And now notice, compared to a traditional lat pull down machine, the resistance is kind of far in front of me. So instead of leaning back like I would if I was at a machine, I'm going to tilt slightly forward, and now that's going to give me the same angle of resistance as if I was using the machine at the gym. Keeping those shoulders packed with good posture, I pull down and do my lat pull downs just like that. And it's really easy to adjust your resistance. I can just scoot back a little bit, increase that resistance, and make it even more challenging. And again, making sure that the workouts are easy to do, so that way you can get it in, find the time to do it. You can go right into a tricep extension from this same position. And again, since it's in front of me a little bit, I'm just going to tilt a little bit forward at my hips and then go into those tricep extensions. Now that's a little bit too much resistance, so if I scoot in, adjust my angle accordingly, then I can get in a nice set of 20, no problem. And so again, we're keeping everything balanced. So we worked out our biceps, so then we're also going to work out our triceps. Really easy, we can jump right into side raises and front raises using just a couple yellow bands. Some of my stronger athletes will use the pink ones, but even yellow can be quite challenging just by adding an extra loop around your feet. So you can see I stand inside the band, and then I wrap it around an extra time to give myself a good amount of resistance to make it a little more challenging. So we're going to do the same thing, maintaining that good posture, keeping those shoulders back. And then we're going to switch and hold on, making that cross to give us a good angle of resistance for our side raises. So I'm just going to keep my head forward, raise my arms up to shoulder height or just below, and then back down. Now notice my thumbs are pointed forward. I don't want them to turn down because that can cause a lot of pinching in my shoulders. If anything, they can turn up a little bit and that can reduce the pinching. So if you have some shoulder issues, letting that thumb rotate up a little bit might help you out with that. Something else I want to point out is the angle of my body. Again, I'm going to hinge just a little bit forward at my hips, and that's going to help me engage more muscles in my back, which help promote good posture, right? We're kind of fighting this hunched over effect that we get from sitting at desks, being on our phone. And so we tilt forward. Now we're working out those muscles that help promote that good posture at the same time. And then it's really easy to switch to a vertical press. And this is going to give you a really good shoulder workout by combining these two. So I'm going to hold onto the same side band. I'm going to pull it around so it runs along the back side of my arm. And then from here, I lift up and then come back down. Nice controlled movements, keeping my wrist directly above the elbow the entire time. And since we're working out our upper body, right, sometimes people focus on their forearms. And so I've noticed using the bands, you don't really need to do specific exercises just for your forearms. You just have to make sure you've got a good forearm position during all your exercises. So for instance, doing these side raises, it's pulling my wrist down, right? So if I keep my wrist straight, now I'm working that top part of my forearm by not letting my wrist bend in. So same thing with the tricep extensions, right? If I let my wrist go this way, that's not good. So I'm going to keep that wrist locked, and now it's working out my forearm the same time as I'm doing those tricep extensions. So if you just think about good technique, you're going to get the forearm workout built in with everything else. You're also going to develop that grip strength as well at the same time. Now, working out your upper body and neglecting other areas is a big mistake that some people make. So you need to make sure you have a good strong core, good strong stabilizer muscles, keeping everything in place, as well as strong legs. So make sure you also watch my other videos that cover core instability and leg workouts. So that way you can combine all of it, have good total body fitness, keep yourself strong and healthy down the road. And that way you can be strong and be elite.